Before kingdoms rose, before beasts ruled, there was a man who saw it all. They took his home, they shattered his temple. They dragged him away with chains and silence. But he carried something they could not break. A fire born not of flesh, but of God. They renamed him, they re-educated him, they fed him from royal tables. But he remembered who he was. In the city of idols, he refused to kneel. In the palace of sorcery, he did not speak their lies. He learned their language, but kept his own truth. He wore their robes, but bore a different spirit.
He does
Among the
not
learned,
consult the
he was set
scrolls,
apart.
yet he
Some
speaks
kneeled
with
to survive,
authority.
others burned
Look
to
at the
stand.
light
He spoke
surrounding
what
him.
others feared.
This
He saw
is
what others
divine
denied.
wisdom.
In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. The Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand with part of the vessels of God's house, and he carried them into the land of Shinar. He brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God. The king spoke to Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring in some of the children of Israel, even of the royal offspring, and of the nobles, youths, in whom was no defect, but well-favored, skillful in all wisdom, endowed with knowledge, understanding science, and such as had ability to serve in the king's palace, and that he should teach them the learning and the language of the Chaldeans. The king appointed for them a daily portion of the king's delicacies and of the wine which he drank, and that they should be nourished 3 years. That at its end they should serve before the king. Now among these were of the children of Judah, Daniel, Ananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The prince of the eunuchs gave names to them. To Daniel he gave the name Belteshazzar, and to Ananiah Shadrach, and to Mishael Meshach, and to Azariah Abednego. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the king's delicacies, nor with the wine which he drank.
Peace
Therefore,
be with you.
he requested of the
Let your
prince of the
heart be
eunuchs
still,
that he might not
and
defile
know that
himself.
all will be well.
Now God made Daniel
The
find
Lord is
kindness
watching
and
over
compassion.
us.
The prince of the eunuchs said to Daniel, I fear my lord the king who has appointed your food and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse looking than the youths who are of your own age? Then you would endanger my head with the king. Then Daniel said to the steward whom the prince of the eunuchs had appointed, Test your servants, I beg you, 10 days. And let them give us vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then let our faces be examined before you, and the face of the youths who eat of the king's delicacies. And as you see, deal with your servants. So he listened to them. At the end of 10 days, their faces appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the youths who ate of the king's delicacies. So the steward took away their delicacies and the wine that they were given to drink and gave them vegetables. Now as for these 4 youths, God gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom. Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. At the end of the days which the king had appointed for bringing them in, the prince of the eunuchs brought them in before Nebuchadnezzar. The king talked with them, and among them all, none was found like Daniel, Ananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Therefore, they served before the king in every matter of wisdom and understanding concerning which the king inquired of them. He found them 10 times better than all the magicians and enchanters who were in all his realm. Daniel continued even to the 1st year of King Cyrus. In the 2nd year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams and his spirit was troubled and his sleep went from him. Then the king commanded the magicians, the enchanters, the sorcerers, and the Chaldeans to tell the king his dream. So they came in and stood before the king. The king said to them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit is troubled to know the dream. Then the Chaldeans spoke to the king in the Syrian language. O king, live forever. Tell your servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation. The king answered the Chaldeans, The thing has gone from me. If you don't make known to me the dream and its interpretation, you will be cut in pieces, and your houses will be made a dunghill. But if you show the dream and its interpretation, you will receive from me gifts, rewards, and great honor. Therefore, show me the dream and its interpretation.
I don't know,
They answered the second time and said, Let the king tell his servants the dream. The king answered, I know of a certainty that you are trying to gain time because you see the thing has gone from me. But if you don't make known to me the dream, there is but one decree for you. For you have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me. Therefore, Tell me the dream, and I will know that you can show me its interpretation." The Chaldeans answered before the king and said, "There is not a man on the earth who can show the king's matter because no king, lord, or ruler has asked such a thing of any magician. It is a rare thing that the king requires, and there is no other who can show it before the king, except the gods, whose dwelling is not with flesh." Because of this, the king was angry and very furious and commanded that all the wise men of Babylon be destroyed. So the decree went out,
Into your
and the wise
hands, O
men were to
Lord,
be
I commit
slain.
my spirit.
They sought
Protect
Daniel
your
and his
servant from the
companions to be
snare of the
slain.
wicked.
Then Daniel returned to answer with counsel and prudence to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, who had gone out to kill the wise men. He answered
furious,
Arioch,
Daniel.
the king's
None
captain,
can tell
"Why
him
is
the
the
dream,
decree so urgent
but
for the
perhaps
king?"
your God
Then
can provide
Arioch
the
made the
answer
thing
within
known to
those
Daniel.
walls.
Daniel
The
went
Most
in
High
and
God
requested of the king
rules
that
the
he would
kingdom
give
of
him time,
mankind,
that
and
he
gives
might
it
show
to
the
whomever
king the
he chooses.
interpretation. Then Daniel went to his house and made the thing known to Ananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, that they would
Thank you,
desire
Lord.
mercies of the God of
Give
heaven
us
concerning this
strength and
secret,
guide us.
so that Daniel and
May
his
your
companions
peace
would
be
not
with
perish.
us all.
Then the secret was revealed to Daniel in a vision of the night. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered, "Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. He changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings and sets up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise. He reveals the deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and the light dwells with him. I thank you and praise you, you God of my fathers, who have given me wisdom and might and have now made known to me what we desired. For you have made known to us the king's matter." Therefore, Daniel went into Arioch, whom the king had appointed to destroy the wise men. He went and said this to him, "Don't destroy the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will show the interpretation." Then Arioch brought in Daniel before the king in haste, and said this to him, "I have found a man of the children of the captivity of Judah, who will make known to the king the interpretation." The king answered Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, "Are you able to make known to me the dream which I have seen and its interpretation?" Daniel answered before the king and said, "The secret which the king has demanded can't be shown to the king by wise men, enchanters, or magicians. But there is a God in heaven who reveals secrets, and he has made known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what will be in the latter days. Your dream and the visions of your head on your bed are these. As for you, O king, your thoughts came on your bed about what would happen hereafter. And he who reveals secrets has made known to you what will happen. But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have, but to the intent that the interpretation may be made known to the king, and that you may know the thoughts of your heart. You, O king, saw, and behold, a great image. This image, which was mighty, and whose brightness was excellent, stood before you. And its appearance was terrifying. As for this image, its head was of fine gold, its chest and its arms of silver, its belly and its thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, its feet part of iron and part of clay. You saw until a stone was cut out without hands, which struck the image on its feet that were of iron and clay, and broke them in pieces. Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver and the gold were broken in pieces together and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors. The wind carried them away so that no place was found for them. The stone that struck the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. This is the
golden
dream,
light
and we will tell its
represents a kingdom
interpretation
which
before
the
the
God
king.
of heaven will set up,
You, O king,
one that shall
are
never
king
be
of
destroyed.
kings, to whom the God of heaven has given the kingdom, the power, the strength, and the glory. Wherever the children of men dwell, he has given the animals of the field and the birds of the sky into your hand, and has made you to rule over them all. You are the head of gold. After you, another kingdom will arise that is inferior to you, and another third kingdom of bronze, which will rule over all the earth. The fourth kingdom will be strong as iron, because iron breaks in pieces and subdues all things. And as iron crushes all these, it will break in pieces and crush. Whereas you saw the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, it will be a divided kingdom. But there will be in it the strength of the iron, because you saw the iron mixed with miry clay. As the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom will be partly strong and partly brittle. Whereas you saw the iron mixed with miry clay. They will mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they won't cling to one another. In the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom which will never be destroyed. Nor will its sovereignty be left to another people, but it will break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it will stand forever. Because you saw that a stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it broke in pieces the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold. The great God has made known to the king what will happen hereafter. The dream is certain and its interpretation sure. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell on his face, worshipped Daniel, and commanded that they should offer an offering and sweet odor to him. The king answered Daniel and said,
Daniel,
of a truth,
servant
your
of the
God is the
living
God
God,
of gods and the Lord
your
of kings
faith
and a
has
revealer of
saved
secrets. Since you have been able to reveal this secret, then the king made Daniel great and gave him many great gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon and chief governor over all the wise men of Babylon. Daniel requested of the king, and he appointed Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel was in the king's gate. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits and its width 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the local governors, the deputies, and the governors, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication. Then the local governors, the deputies, and the governors, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers were gathered together. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then the herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, peoples, nations, and languages, that whenever you hear the sound of the horn, pipe, lyre, trigon, harp, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. Whoever doesn't fall down and worship shall be cast into the middle of a burning fiery furnace the same hour. Therefore, at that time, when all the peoples heard the sound of the horn, pipe, lyre, trigon, harp, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, all the peoples, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Therefore, at that time certain Chaldeans came near and brought accusation against the Jews. They answered Nebuchadnezzar the king, O king, live forever. You, O king, have made a decree that every man who hears the sound of the horn, pipe, lyre, trigon, harp, dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoever doesn't fall down and worship shall be cast into the middle of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom you have appointed over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not respected you. They don't serve your gods and don't worship the golden image which you have set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar in rage and fury commanded that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be brought. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar answered them, is it on purpose, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you don't serve my God, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now if you are ready whenever you hear the sound of the horn, to fall down and worship the image which I have made good.
Speak now.
But if you don't worship, you shall be cast the same hour into the middle of a burning fiery furnace. Who is that God who will deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered the king. Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter.
He
If
has
it
sent
happens,
his angel
our God
to
whom we
protect us
serve
from
is
the
able to
flames.
deliver us. And he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, let it be known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods, or worship the golden image which you have set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar was full of fury, and the expression on his face was changed. He spoke and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was usually heated. He commanded certain mighty men who were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the furnace. Then these men were bound in their pants, their tunics, their mantles, and their other clothes, and were cast into the middle of the furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent and the furnace exceedingly hot, the flame of the fire killed those men who took them up. These three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the middle of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished and rose up in haste. He spoke and said to his counselors, "Didn't we cast three men bound into the middle of the fire?"
Surely perish,
They
Your
answered the
Majesty.
king,
This
"True,
heat haze
O
is
king."
unnatural.
He answered, "Look, I see four men loose walking in the middle of the fire. And they are unharmed. The appearance of the fourth is like a son of the gods." Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace.
Why have you
He spoke and said,
forsaken me?
"Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego,
The
you servants of the Most
flames
High God,
consume
come out."
all.
Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the middle of the fire. The
But
local
they
governors,
are
the deputies, and the
unharmed.
governors, and the king's counselors being gathered together saw these men
How
that the
can
fire
this
had no
be?
power on their bodies. And the hair of their head wasn't singed. Their clothes weren't scorched, and the smell of fire wasn't on them. Nebuchadnezzar spoke and said, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants who trusted in him. They have changed the king's word and have yielded their bodies that they might not serve nor worship any god except their own God. Therefore, I make a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak anything evil against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces. And their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God who is able to deliver like this." Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar the king, to all the peoples, nations, and languages who dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied to you. It has seemed good to me to show the signs and wonders that the Most High God has worked toward me. How great are his signs! How mighty are his wonders! His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. His dominion is from generation to generation. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at rest in my house and flourishing in my palace. I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts on my bed, and the visions of my head troubled me. Therefore, I made a decree to bring in all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known to me the interpretation.
I
Then
must
the
know
magicians,
the meaning of this
the
dream.
enchanters,
Tell
the
me what the
Chaldeans,
shadows
and the
foretell.
soothsayers
We
came
cannot,
in,
Your
and I
Majesty.
told the
It
dream
is too
before them.
dark.
But they didn't make known to me its interpretation. But at the last Daniel came in before me, whose name was Belshazzar.
They do
According
not
to the name
understand
of
the
my
gravity
God,
of the
and
situation.
in whom is the spirit of the holy
Daniel.
gods,
What does the dream
told the
truly
dream
mean for
before
my
him.
reign?
saying, "Belshazzar, master of the magicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in you, and no secret troubles you. Tell me the visions of my dream that I have seen in its interpretation." These were the visions of my head on my bed. I saw, and behold, a tree in the middle of the earth, and its height was great. The tree grew and was strong. Its height reached to the sky, and its height to the end of all the earth. The leaves of it were beautiful, and it had much fruit. In it was food for all. The animals of the field had shade under it. The birds of the sky lived in its branches, and all flesh was fed from it. I saw in the visions of my head on my bed, and behold, a holy watcher came down from the sky. He cried aloud and said this, "Cut down the tree and cut off its branches, shake off its leaves and scatter its fruit. Let the animals get away from under it and the birds from its branches. Nevertheless, leave the stump of its roots in the earth, even with a band of iron and brass in the tender grass of the field. Let it be wet with the dew of the sky. Let his portion be with the animals in the grass of the earth. Let his heart be changed from man's, and let an animal's heart be given to him, and let 7 times pass over him. The sentence is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones to the intent that the living may know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men and gives it to whomever he will and sets up over it the lowest of men. This dream I, King
Daniel,
Nebuchadnezzar, have
if
seen.
your God
You
can
Belshazzar
interpret this
declare the
mystery,
interpretation
I will
because all the
reward
wise
you
men are not
greatly.
able. But you are able, for the spirit of the holy gods is in you." Then Daniel was astonished for a while, and his thoughts troubled him. The king answered, "Belshazzar, don't let the dream or the interpretation trouble you." Belshazzar answered, "My lord, may the dream be for those who hate you. The tree that you saw, which grew and was strong, whose height reached to the sky, and its sight to all the earth, whose leaves were beautiful, and it had much fruit, and in it was food for all, under which the animals lived. It is you, O king, who have grown and become strong. For your greatness has grown and reaches to the sky, and your dominion to the end of the earth. Whereas the king saw a holy watcher coming down from the sky and saying, cut down the tree. Nevertheless, leave the stump of its roots in the earth with a band of iron and brass in the tender grass of the field. And let it be wet with the dew of the sky. Let his portion be with the animals of the field until 7 times pass over him. This is the interpretation, O king, and it is the decree of the Most High which has come on my lord the king. You shall be driven from men, and your dwelling shall be with the animals of the field. You shall be made to eat grass like oxen, and shall be wet with the dew of the sky. 7 times shall pass over you, until you know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men and gives it to whomever he will. Whereas it was commanded to leave the stump of the tree roots. Your kingdom shall be short to you after you know that heaven's rules.
This is
Therefore,
the interpretation,
O
O
king,
king.
let my
Break off
counsel
your
be
sins by
acceptable to
being
you,
righteous,
and break off your
iniquities
sins
by
by
showing mercy
righteousness,
to the poor.
and your iniquities by showing mercy to the poor. Perhaps there may be a lengthening of your prosperity. At the end of 12 months, he was walking in the royal palace of Babylon. The king spoke and said, Is not this great Babylon which I have built for the royal dwelling place by the might of my power and for the glory of my majesty? While the word was in the king's mouth, a voice came from the sky, saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to you it is spoken. The kingdom has departed from you. You shall be driven from men, and your dwelling shall be with the animals of the field. You shall be made to eat grass like oxen. 7 times shall pass over you until you know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men and gives it to whomever he will. This was fulfilled the same hour on Nebuchadnezzar. He was driven from men and ate grass like oxen. And his body was wet with the dew of the sky until his hair had grown like eagle's feathers and his nails like bird's claws. At the end of the days, I Nebuchadnezzar lifted up my eyes to heaven, and my understanding returned to me. And I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him who lives forever, for his dominion is an everlasting dominion. His kingdom from generation to generation. All the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing. He does according to his will in the army of heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth. And no one can stay his hand, or ask him, what are you doing? At the same time, my understanding returned to me, and for the glory of my kingdom, my majesty returned. My counselors and my lords sought me, and I was established in my kingdom, and excellent greatness was added to me. Now I Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of heaven, for all his works are truth and his ways justice. He is able to humble those who walk in pride. Belshazzar the king made a great feast for 1,000 of his lords. Belshazzar, while he tasted the wine, commanded that the golden and silver vessels which Nebuchadnezzar his father had taken out of the temple be brought, that the king and his lords, his wives, and his concubines might drink from them. Then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of God's house, which was at Jerusalem. They drank wine and praised the gods of gold and of silver, of bronze, of iron, of wood, and of stone. In the same hour, the fingers of a man's hand came out and wrote near the lampstand on the plaster of the wall. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's face was changed in him, and his thoughts troubled him. And the joints of his thighs were loosened, and his knees struck one against another. The king cried aloud to bring in the enchanters, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers.
What do we do?
Whoever reads this writing and shows me its interpretation shall be clothed with purple and have a chain of gold, and
What
shall
is
be the
that
third
light?
ruler in the
I
kingdom.
cannot read it.
Then
It
all the
burns
king's
my
wise
eyes.
men came in,
It says
but
something,
they could not read
but
the
what
writing.
does it mean?
Then King Belshazzar was greatly troubled, and his face was changed in him, and his lords were perplexed. The queen, by reason of the words of the king and his lords, came into the banquet house. The queen spoke and said, O king, live forever.
I have
Don't let
fasted
your
and
thoughts
prayed,
trouble
my
you.
Lord.
There is a man in
Now
your
I
kingdom in
stand
whom is the
before your
spirit of the
throne,
holy God.
trusting in your mercy.
In the days of your father,
The
light,
great God has
understanding,
made known to
and
the
wisdom
king
like the
what
wisdom
will
of the
be in
gods were
future.
found in him. Because an excellent spirit, knowledge, and interpreting of dreams were found in the same Daniel, whom the king named Belshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, and he will show the interpretation. Then Daniel was brought in before the king. The king spoke and
servant
said to
of the living
Daniel,
God,
Are you that Daniel
has
who is
your
of the
God
children of the
whom you
captivity
serve
of Judah,
continually been able
whom the
to
king my
rescue
father
you?
brought out of Judah? I have heard of you that the spirit of the gods is in you. And that light, understanding, and excellent wisdom are found in you. Now the wise men have been brought in before me that they should read this writing, but they could not show the interpretation. But I have heard of you that you can give interpretations and dissolve doubts. Now, if you can read the writing and make known to me its interpretation, you shall be clothed with purple and have a chain of gold. Then Daniel answered before the king, let your gifts be to yourself, and give your rewards to another. Nevertheless, I will read the writing to the king and make known to him the interpretation. To you, O king, the Most High God gave Nebuchadnezzar your father the kingdom and greatness and glory and majesty. But when his heart was lifted up and his mind hardened in pride, he was deposed from his kingly throne, and they took his glory from him. He was driven from the sons of men, and his heart was made like the animals. His dwelling was with the wild donkeys. He was fed with grass like oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of the sky until he knew that the Most High God rules. You
have
his
lifted
son
up
Belshazzar,
yourself against
have not
the Lord
humbled
of
your
heaven,
heart, though you knew all
and
this,
your heart is
but have
not
lifted up
humbled.
yourself against the Lord. They have brought the vessels of his house before you, and you and your lords have drunk wine from them. You have praised the gods of silver and gold, of bronze, iron, wood and stone, which don't see, know, or hear. And you have not glorified the God in whose hand your breath is, and whose are all your ways. Then the part of the hand was sent from before him, and this writing was inscribed. This is the writing that was inscribed. Tekel, a parson. This is the interpretation of the thing. God has counted your kingdom and brought it to an end. Tekel, you are weighed in the balances and are found wanting. Perez, your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Then Belshazzar commanded, and they clothed Daniel with purple and put a chain of gold about his neck, and proclaimed concerning him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. In that night Belshazzar the Chaldean king was slain. Darius the Mede received the kingdom being about 62 years old. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 local governors, who should be throughout the whole kingdom, and over them 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was one, that these local governors might give account to them, and that the king should suffer no loss. Then this Daniel was distinguished above the presidents and the local governors because an excellent spirit was in him. And the king planned to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and the local governors sought to find occasion against Daniel, but they could find no occasion or fault because he was faithful. There wasn't any error or fault found in him. Then these men said, we won't find any occasion against this Daniel unless we find it against him concerning the law of his God. Then these presidents and local governors assembled together to the king and said this to him: King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a strong decree, that whoever asks a petition of any god or man for 30 days except of you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it not be changed according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which doesn't alter. Therefore, King Darius signed the writing and the decree. When Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house. Now his windows were open in his room toward Jerusalem. And he knelt on his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did before. Then these men assembled together and found Daniel making petition and supplication before his God. Then they came near and spoke before the king concerning the king's decree. Haven't you signed a decree that every man who makes a petition to any god or man within 30 days shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered, This thing is true according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which doesn't alter. Then they answered and said before the king, that Daniel, who is of the children of the captivity of Judah, doesn't respect you, O king, or the decree that you have signed, but makes his petition 3 times a day. Then the king, when he heard these words, was very displeased, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him, and he labored until the going down of the sun to rescue him. Then these men assembled together to the king and said, Know, O king, that it is a law of the Medes and Persians that no decree may be changed. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. The king
O
spoke
Daniel,
and said to Daniel,
servant of the living
your God,
God,
whom you serve continually,
was he able to
he will
save you?
deliver you. A stone was brought and laid on the mouth of the den. And the king sealed it with his own signet, and with the signet of his lords, that nothing might be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. No musical instruments were brought before him, and his sleep fled from him. Then the king arose very early in the morning, and went in haste to the den of lions. When he came near to the den to Daniel, he cried with a troubled voice. The king spoke and said to Daniel,
Let
Daniel,
there be light
servant
in
of
the
the living
darkness.
God, is your God whom you serve
Arise, my
continually
children,
able to deliver you
and
from the
shine.
lions? Then Daniel said to the king, O king, live forever. My God has sent his angel and has shut the lions' mouths. And they have not hurt me because as before him innocence was found in me and also before you. O king, I have done no harm.
Daniel,
Then the king was
servant of the living
exceedingly
God,
glad
you
and commanded
are
that they should
saved.
take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no kind of harm was found on him because he had trusted in his God. The king commanded and they brought those men who had accused Daniel and they cast them into the den of lions. Then their children and their wives. The lions mauled them and broke all their bones in pieces before they came to the bottom. Then King Darius wrote to all the peoples, nations, and languages who dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied to you. I make a decree that in all the dominion of my kingdom, men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel. For he is the living God and steadfast forever. His kingdom is that which will not be destroyed. His dominion will be even to the end. He delivers and rescues. He works signs and wonders in heaven and in earth. Who has delivered Daniel from the power of the lions? So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius. And in the reign of Cyrus the Persian, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream, and visions of his head on his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spoke and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the sky broke out on the great sea. Four great animals came up from the sea, different from one another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I saw until its wings were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made to stand on 2 feet as a man. A man's heart was given to it. Behold, there was another animal, a second, like a bear.
The
It was
flesh
raised up on
is
one side,
consumed,
and 3 ribs were in its mouth
and the
between its teeth.
darkness
They said this to
spreads
it,
across
Arise,
the waters.
devour much flesh. After this I saw, and behold, another, like a leopard, which had on its back 4 wings of a bird. The animal also had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th animal, awesome and powerful, and exceedingly strong. It had great iron teeth. It devoured and broke in pieces, and stamped the residue with its feet. It was different from all the animals that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, another horn, a little one, came up among them, before which 3 of the first horns were plucked up by the roots. Behold,
I rise
in this
above them
horn
all,
were eyes
even
like
him.
the eyes of a man,
You are nothing
and a
but
mouth
dust
speaking
beneath
great
my
things.
feet.
I saw until thrones were placed, and one who was ancient of days sat. His clothing was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was fiery flames, and its wheels burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came out from before him. Thousands of thousands ministered to him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. I saw at that time because of the voice of the great words which the horn spoke. I saw even until the animal was slain, and its body destroyed, and it was given to be burned with fire. As for the rest of the animals, their dominion was taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. I saw in the night visions, and behold, there came with the clouds of the sky one like a son of man. He came even to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. Dominion was given to him, and glory, and a kingdom, that all the peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which will not pass away, and his kingdom that which will not be destroyed. As for me, Daniel, my spirit was grieved in the middle of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near to one of those who stood by, and asked him the truth concerning all this. So he told me, and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great animals, which are four kings, who will arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High will receive the kingdom, and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Then I desired to know the truth concerning the fourth animal, which was different from all of them, exceedingly terrible. And concerning the 10 horns that were on its head, and the other horn which came up, and before which 3 fell. Even that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spoke great things, whose appearance was more stout than its fellows. I saw, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth animal will be a fourth kingdom on earth, which will be different from all the kingdoms, and will devour the whole earth, and will tread it down, and break it in pieces. As for the 10 horns, out of this kingdom 10 kings will arise, and another will arise after them. He will be different from the former, and he will put down 3 kings. He will speak words against the Most High, and will wear out the saints of the Most High. He will plan to change the times and the law, and they will be given into his hand until a time and times and half a time. But the judgment will be set, and they will take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it to the end. The kingdom and the dominion, and the greatness of the kingdoms under the whole sky, will be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions will serve and obey him. Here is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my thoughts troubled me much, and my face was changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared to me, even to me, Daniel, after that which appeared to me at the first. I saw in the vision, and it was so, that when I saw, I was in Shushan the palace, which is in the province of Elam. I saw in the vision, and I was by the river Ulam. Then I lifted up my eyes, and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram, which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. I saw the ram pushing westward, and northward, and southward, and no animals could stand before him. Neither was there any who could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will, and magnified himself. As I was considering, behold, a male goat came from the west over the surface of the whole earth, and didn't touch the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. He came to the ram that had the 2 horns, which I saw standing before the river, and ran on him in the fury of his power. I saw him come close to the ram, and he was moved with anger against him, and struck the ram, and broke his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground and trampled on him. And there was no one who could deliver the ram out of his hand. The male goat magnified himself exceedingly. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and instead of it there came up 4 notable horns toward the 4 winds of the sky. Out of one of them came forth a little horn, which grew exceedingly great, toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the glorious land. It grew great, even to the army of the sky, and some of the army and of the stars it cast down to the ground and trampled on them. Yes, it magnified itself, even to the prince of the army, and it took away from him the continual burnt offering. And the place of his sanctuary was cast down. The army was given over to it together with the continual burnt offering through transgression. And it cast down truth to the ground, and it did its pleasure and prospered. Then
Listen
I
to
heard
the
a holy
silence,
one
feel
speaking,
the light.
and another holy one
It
said to
resonates
that
deep
certain
within
one who
our
spoke,
souls.
How long shall be the vision concerning the continual burnt offering, and the transgression that makes desolate, to give both the sanctuary and the army to be trodden underfoot? He said to me, to 2,300 evenings and mornings. Then the sanctuary will be cleansed. It happened, when I Daniel, had seen the vision, that I sought to understand it. And behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Ulam, which
the
called,
beginning
and said,
the end.
Gabriel, make this man
Behold
to
my
understand the vision.
creation.
So he came near where I stood, and when he came, I was frightened, and fell on my face. But he said to me, Understand,
not your heart
son of
be
man,
troubled.
for the vision belongs to the
This
time of the
light.
end. Now as he was speaking with me, I fell into a deep sleep with my face toward the ground, but he touched me and set me upright. He said, "Behold, I will make you know what will be in the latter end of the indignation, for it belongs to the appointed time of the end. The ram which you saw, that had the 2 horns. They are the kings of Media and Persia. The rough male goat is the king of Greece, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. As for that which was broken, in the place where 4 stood up, 4 kingdoms will arise out of the nation, but not with his power. In the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors have reached their full measure, a king of fierce face and understanding dark sentences will arise. His power will be mighty, but not by his own power, and he will destroy wonderfully, and will prosper and do his pleasure. He will destroy the mighty ones and the holy people. Through his policy he will cause deceit to prosper in his hand, and he will magnify himself in his heart. And in their security he will destroy many. He will also stand up against the Prince of Princes. But he will be broken without hand. The vision of the evenings and mornings which has been told is true. But you, seal up the vision, for it belongs to many days to come. I, Daniel, fainted, and was sick some days, then I rose up, and did the king's business. I was amazed at the vision, but no one understood it. In the first year of Darius the son of Ahasuerus, in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by the books the number of the years, whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, for the accomplishing of the desolations of Jerusalem, even 70 years. I set my face to the Lord God, to seek by prayer and petitions, with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. I prayed to the Lord my God, and made confession,
hear my cry.
and said, O Lord,
I am
the great and
desperate for your
dreadful God,
presence.
who keeps covenant and loving kindness with those who love him and keep his commandments. We have sinned, and have dealt perversely, and have done wickedly, and have rebelled, even turning aside from your precepts and from your ordinances. Neither have we listened to your servants the prophets, who spoke in your name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, to all the people of the land. Lord, righteousness belongs to you, but to us confusion of face, as at this day. To the men
Grant
of
us
Judah,
peace, O
and to
Lord,
the
and
inhabitants of
guide us to your
Jerusalem, and to
everlasting
all
light.
Israel,
Thy
who are
kingdom
near,
come,
and who are
thy
far
will
off,
be done.
through all the countries where you have driven them, because of their trespass that they have trespassed against you. Lord, to us belongs confusion of face, because we have sinned against you. To the Lord our God belong mercies and forgiveness. For we have rebelled against
Come
him,
back.
neither have we obeyed the voice
Do
of the
not
Lord our
stray
God,
from the path
to walk
of
in his
light.
laws. Yes, all Israel has transgressed your law. Therefore the curse and the oath written in the law of Moses has been poured out on us. He has confirmed his words, which he spoke against us, for under the whole sky has not been done as has been done on Jerusalem. Now therefore, our God, listen to the prayer of your servant, and to his petitions, and cause your face to shine on your sanctuary that is desolate. O my God, incline your ear, and hear, open your eyes, and see our desolations, for we do not present our petitions before you for our righteousness, but for your great mercy
set up a
O
kingdom
Lord,
that shall never
hear,
be
O
destroyed.
Lord, forgive,
It
O
shall
Lord,
break in
listen
pieces
and
all
do,
these
don't defer,
kingdoms and
for your own
stand
sake.
forever.
While I was speaking, and praying, and confessing my sin and the sin of my people, behold, the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening offering. He instructed
the
me,
celestial
and talked with me,
movements,
and said,
for they foretell
Daniel,
the
I
coming
have now
of the
come forth
appointed
to give you
time.
wisdom and understanding. At the beginning of your petitions the commandment went forth, and I have come to tell you, for you are greatly beloved. Therefore consider the matter,
And the sands
and
continue
understand
to
the
fall.
vision. 70 weeks are decreed on your people and on your holy city, to finish transgression, and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and discern, that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem to the anointed one, the prince, shall be 7 weeks. In
The sky
62
grows dark.
weeks,
We
it
should
shall
head
be built
inside.
again, with street and
Hurry
moat,
now, get
even
your
in
goods
troubled
before the rain
times.
starts.
After the 62 weeks, the anointed one shall be cut off, and shall have nothing. The people of the prince who shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and its end shall be with a flood. Even to the end shall be war, desolations are determined. He shall make a firm covenant with many for 1 week. In the middle of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the offering to cease, and on the wing of abominations shall come one who makes desolate. Even until the full end, and that determined, shall be poured out on the desolate. In the 3rd year of Cyrus king of Persia, a thing was revealed to Daniel, and the thing was true. Even a great warfare. He understood the thing, and had understanding of the vision. In those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 whole weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine into my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, until 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. In the 24th day of the 1st month, I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel. I lifted up my eyes, and looked, and behold, a man clothed in linen, whose thighs were adorned with pure gold of Uphaz. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as flaming torches, and his arms and his feet like burnished bronze, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men who were with me didn't see the vision, but a great quaking fell on them. So they fled to hide themselves. So I was left alone, and saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me. For my comeliness was turned in me into corruption, and I retained no strength. Yet I heard the voice of his words, and when I heard the voice of his words,
but the time
then I fell
appointed
into a
is
deep
long.
sleep on my face, and my face toward the ground. Behold, a hand touched me, which set me on my knees and on the palms of my hands. He said
not
to me,
afraid,
O
Daniel.
Daniel,
Your
you
prayers
man
have
greatly
been heard.
beloved, understand
Rest
the
now
words
in
that I
his
speak
perfect
to you,
peace.
and stand upright, for I have now been said to you. When he had spoken this word to me, I stood trembling. Then he said to me, Don't be afraid, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand, your words were heard. And I have come because of your words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. But behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. Now I have come to
Daniel,
make you
the eternal
understand
city
what
of
will
God,
happen to your
New
people in the
Jerusalem
latter
descending
days,
from heaven.
for the vision is
My
yet for
Lord,
many
it is
days.
magnificent.
When he had spoken such words to me, I set my face toward the ground and was mute. Behold, one in the likeness of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth, and spoke and said to him who stood before me, O my Lord, by reason of the vision my sorrows are turned on me, and I retain no strength. For how can the servant of this my Lord talk with this my Lord? For as for me, immediately there remained no strength in me, neither was there breath left in me. Then there touched me again one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me. He said, O man
Fear
greatly
not.
beloved, don't be afraid.
Let
Peace be
my
to you.
peace
Be
surround
strong. Yes, be strong. When he had spoken to me, I was strengthened, and said, Let my Lord speak, for you have strengthened me. Then he said, Do you know why I have come to you? Now I will return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I go forth, behold, the prince of Greece shall come. But I will tell you that which is inscribed in the writing of truth. And there is no one who holds with me against none nay, but Michael your prince. Also I in the 1st year of Darius the Mede, I stood up to confirm and to strengthen him. Now I will show you the truth. Behold, 3 more kings will stand up in Persia, and the 4th will be far richer than all of them. And when he has
Men
grown
of Greece,
strong through his
behold
riches,
our
he
destiny.
will stir up all
The
against
hour
the
of
realm of
victory
Greece.
is at hand.
A mighty king will stand up, who will rule with great dominion, and do according to his will. When he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken, and shall be divided toward the 4 winds of the sky. But not to his posterity, nor according to his dominion which he ruled, for his kingdom shall be plucked up. The king of the south will be strong, and one of his princes, and he will be strong above him, and have dominion. At the end of years they will join themselves together, and the daughter of the king of the south will come to the king of the north. But she will not retain the strength of her arm, neither will he stand, nor his arm, but she will be given up. But out of a shoot from her roots shall one stand up in his place, who shall come to the army, and shall enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against them, and shall prevail. Also their gods, with their molten images, and with their goodly vessels of silver and of gold, shall he carry captive into Egypt. And he shall refrain some years from the king of the north. And the king of the north shall come into the realm of the king of the south. But he shall return into his own land. His sons shall stir themselves up, and shall assemble a multitude of great forces, which shall come on, and overflow, and pass through, and he shall return and stir himself up, even to his fortress. The king of the south shall be moved with anger, and shall come forth and fight with him, even with the king of the north. And he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given into his hand. When the multitude is carried away, his heart shall be lifted up, and he shall cast down tens of thousands. But he shall not prevail. For the king of the north shall return, and shall set forth a multitude greater than the former. And he shall come on at the end of the times, even of years, with a great army and with much substance. In those times many shall rise up against the king of the south. Also the children of the violent among your people shall lift themselves up to establish the vision, but they shall fall. So the king of the north shall come, and cast up a mound, and take a well-fortified city. And the arms of the south shall not withstand, neither his chosen people, neither shall there be any strength to withstand. But he who comes against him shall do according to his own will. And none shall stand before him, and he shall stand in the glorious land, which by his hand shall be consumed. He shall set his face to come with the strength of his whole kingdom. And upright ones with him, and he shall do his pleasure, and he shall give him the daughter of women, to corrupt her. But she shall not stand on his side, neither be for him. After this shall he turn his face to the islands, and shall take many. But a prince shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease, yes. Moreover, he shall cause his reproach to turn on him. Then he shall turn his face toward the fortresses of his own land, but he shall stumble and fall, and shall not be found. Then shall stand up in his place one who shall cause a tax collector to pass through the glory of the kingdom. But within few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle. And in his place shall stand up a contemptible person, to whom they had not given the honor of the kingdom,
The
but
council
he shall
agrees
come in a
the other
time of
claimants
security,
must be silenced
and
before
shall
the
obtain the
solstice.
kingdom by
It is
flatteries.
God's will.
And with the arms of a flood shall they be swept away from before him, and shall be broken, yes, also the prince of the covenant. And after the league
It
made
is
with
an
him he
honor
shall
to
work
finally meet
deceitfully,
you,
for
great
he shall
one.
come up,
May this
and
handshake
shall become
seal our
strong with a
lasting
small
peace.
people. In time of security shall he come even on the fattest places of the province, and he shall do that which his fathers have not done. He shall scatter among them prey, and spoil, and substance,
We will begin
and he shall
construction on the
devise his
eastern wall
devices against the
immediately.
strongholds,
Keep them busy.
even for a time, and he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army, but he shall not stand.
To
For
the
they shall
prosperity
devise
of the southern
devices
kingdom.
against him.
May our
Yes,
union
they who eat
last
of his
forever.
meat shall destroy him. And his army shall overflow, and many shall fall down slain. And both these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief. And they shall
hourglass is
speak
almost
lies at
empty.
one table,
We must move
but it shall
quickly.
not prosper,
Yes,
for
the
yet
northern
the end
kingdom
shall
will
be at the
fall by
time
morning.
appointed. Then shall he return into his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant. And he shall do exploits, and return to his own land. At the time appointed he shall return, and come toward the south. But it shall not be as the former, or as the latter, for the ships of Chittim shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved, and return, and have indignation against the holy covenant, so shall he do. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice. And they shall place the abomination that makes desolate, and such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people who do know their God shall be strong, and do exploits. And they who
Remember
understand
these
among the
words,
people
little
shall
ones.
instruct many,
They are the
yet they
truth
shall
that
fall
will
by the
guide
sword,
you when the path is
and by
dark.
flame, by captivity, and by spoil, many days. Now when they shall fall, they shall be helped with a little help. But many shall join themselves to them with flatteries, and some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them, and to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed. And the king shall do according to his will. And he shall exalt himself, and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods. and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. But in his estate shall he honor the God of forces, and a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory. And he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots, and with horsemen, and with many ships. And he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. He shall enter also into the glorious land. And many countries shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand. Even Edom, and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas and the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince who stands for the children of your people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time your people shall be delivered, every one who shall be found written in the book. And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And those who are wise shall shine as the brightness of the expanse, and those who turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But you, Daniel, shut up the words, and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run back and forth, and knowledge shall be increased. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on the brink of the river on this side, and the other on the brink of the river on that side. One said to the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders? I heard the man clothed in linen,
As it is written,
when he held up his right hand and his left
shall
hand
it
to
be
heaven,
done.
and swore by him who lives forever, that it shall be for a time, times, and a half, and when they have made an end of breaking in pieces the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. I heard, but I didn't understand. Then I said, My Lord, what shall be the issue of these things? He said, Go your way, Daniel, for the words are shut up and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be purified, and made white, and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly. And none of the wicked shall understand, but those who are wise shall understand. And from the time that the continual burnt offering shall be taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he who waits, and comes to the 1,335 days. But go your way until the end be, for you shall rest, and shall stand in your lot at the end of the days. So Daniel continued even to the first year of King Cyrus. And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. The king spoke to him, and among them all was found none like Daniel, Ananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. They stood before the king. In all matters of wisdom and understanding, he found them 10 times better. For his kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation.